All right. What's going on, LBHT crew? What's going on, B?
What's up, man?
Man, thank you for joining us on this lovely Wednesday night. Sorry for the slight delay. We're running behind here. So, we're getting off to a slightly late start, but, it's still going to be a fun show. Give people a couple minutes to get into the room here. I see some people already starting to fill in. Our man Noah Driscoll's in the house. What's going on, Noah?
Hello, Noah.
My guy, sorry I missed last week. It's all good. You're here now, and thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. Yeah. Oh, okay. Some more people are piling in here. All right. We got Deshaun in the house. All right. What's going on, Deshaun? Godzilla versus King Kong disappointment, but at least we get to rant about the Ravens' complacency together. Okay. I haven't watched it yet, but
I'll watch that one soon.
We might have to talk about that in the overtime show. Make sure you guys subscribe. Patreon.com/LBHT show. All right. We're gonna talk about that in the overtime. Garnett West is in the house. It's all good. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Oh, Davon Johnson is in the house. What's going on? He said, Deshaun, behave. All right. Yes, sir. LBHT crew. Yes. Tell your friends. All right, man. So you guys see the title. You know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk some wide receiver evaluation. Got the draft coming up, so we're going to start breaking down some players in the draft. This week we're going to cover the wide receivers because we believe that's still their main need, their number one need. So we'll go over that. Next week we'll probably talk edge rushers. So we'll start with that. We're going to get into some UFC. All right, we had a big fight over the weekend. And Francis Ngannou knocked out Stipe Miocic. So now the talk is, Ngannou versus John Jones. But will that happen? Ooh. And then we're going to finish up with some more NFL talk. We added a 17th game to the schedule, so we're going to get into that. But first, it's time for our Black History Fact. And B has a very good, very interesting fact for you guys this week. Go ahead and get into it, B.
Yeah, we're going to make it a little quick this week, just with a lot of the talk that's going on surrounding Justin Fields. He got slapped with he can't read defenses, and he's not a hard worker. The labels that only ever seem to apply to black quarterbacks. So again, it's just another week to remind everybody that it's still, it has been since the beginning, but it's still a struggle for black people in this country. And just to further illustrate that point, we have N.K. Jemisin, who was the first black female author.
One of my favorite authors, by the way. That's one of my favorite authors. I love her books.
The Hugo Award for a novel, for science fiction novels.
Yes.
It happened in 2016, just 5 years ago. And from that point, she became the first person, period, to win the award 3 years in a row with her Broken Earth trilogy. So check that out if you're into science fiction.
Yeah. And if you don't like reading, TNT actually picked up the adaptation of the book. So
listen, if you don't like reading, learn to like reading.
Yeah, or do like I do, man. Audible's your friend, man. But no, she's an excellent writer, man. I'm a big fan of hers. So definitely check her out. And Davon says he likes your setup, B. He said you got a good setup there. And look, that right there, what you see right there, that's because of y'all, right? When we say we put every dollar that you give us back into the show, stuff like that is what results from it. Okay, so keep supporting, and we're gonna keep. I told you, man, we got all kinds of ideas for the show, man. Like we throw everything back into the show to give you guys the best experience possible. Oh man, Spirit of Justice is in the house. What's going on? How's that Stipe gonna win, Crow? Oh, okay. That's for you, V. Well, I picked Stipe too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you did.
I picked Stipe. Man, look,
listen, it's fine. I don't have anything against Francis Ngannou. I just didn't think he was gonna win.
Yeah, there's no crow over here, man. Like, yeah, we like Ngannou too, but look, the way he lost the first time kind of made us believe, like, okay, and Stipe, for all intents and purposes, is the greatest heavyweight fighter to date. But Ngannou came back and just he stepped his game up.
And listen, I'm standing by that rematch was undeserved. It doesn't matter the outcome. He didn't deserve a rematch. All right. That mega fight. Okay, yeah, look,
we're gonna get into that. We'll get into that later on in the show. But first, let's start with some. So you want to start with
Go
what are
ahead.
you reading? Oh, you talking about Garnett? Hold on. Let me pull Garnett's thing here. He said, hey, if I were you guys, I would hurry up and go to Sam's Club because they're going to give out bulk sales on 40 times. Okay, okay. Well, great segue. We're about to get into some combine stuff or pro
What's up,
days.
Godson?
Godson, what's going on? Oh man, Godson's in the house. Shout out to Godson, man. Godson was one of the first people to leave a comment on our videos, man. Like he's been here from the beginning. So I appreciate you, man. All right.
Yeah.
Justin Fields and Mac Jones. We're gonna start there and we're gonna get into some wide receiver talk. All right.
Yeah. So Justin Fields, well, first off, the 49ers made a big trade this past week. They moved up to number 3, trading with the Dolphins, traded 3 firsts and a third to move up to number 3 to get their quarterback of the future, right? So everybody's wondering, oh, who'd they trade up for? Who'd they trade up for? And, people were saying, hey, they're kind of comfortable with whoever's there at 3. And then the talk was, no, it's Trey Lance because they want to keep Garoppolo and let Lance sit a year. And then I think mostly thanks to Chris Sims, it was, no, they're there for Mac Jones. And then people started talking about Mac Jones being, the number 3 quarterback and being better than Justin Fields. And, you had a lot of Justin Fields slander. And then they had their pro days, and Justin Fields looked like Justin Fields does. And Mac Jones looked like trash.
Yeah, but of course, they ain't gonna stop him from getting hyped up, right? They'll say, "Oh, just a bad day." Now, here's the funny thing about the draft, and this happens every year, right? There's this guy that comes out of nowhere that everybody hypes up, and they're like, "Oh, but he could be the guy. Like, he's a sleeper, and oh, he could be better than this person. He might turn to be this." And we're at the point where we brush it off, like, yeah, okay, there's always that guy that they just throw in the mix, but now you see that dark horse consistently getting drafted. So we laugh at it, right? And say, oh, yeah, Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, right.
Yeah.
But then they end up going way higher than they should be. So at this point, it would not surprise me. I'm telling you right now, it would not surprise me if Mac Jones gets drafted before Justin Fields and the Panthers are in a position to draft Justin Fields.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be great for Carolina. I mean, I would hate it for Justin Fields because he's the second best quarterback in this draft. He deserves to go second, but that'd be fantastic for Carolina because at this point, I'm sitting here thinking they're not going to be able to get any quarterback.
Yeah.
But if the Mac Jones talk stays consistent, maybe he falls and Carolina can either get him at 8 or move up and grab. What's up, King of Hugo? Yep. I see Ferris in the chat also. What's up, Ferris?
Oh, Ferris, what's going on? Oh, that's Deshaun. Hold on, let's read Deshaun's comment. And this mystery guy that comes out of nowhere is usually white, ironically.
That's not fair, Deshaun. Yeah. That's not fair. They're always white.
Yeah. Yes, always. Chris Sims thinks he knows because he is friends with Kyle. People need to know John Lynch is decision making too. Yes, John. And look, John Lynch has done a pretty good job putting together a team in San Francisco. I thought they would all be fired by this point, but hey, look, credit to him. I look, keeping it real, right? Like I didn't think he was gonna do a good job, but he has done a good job. So credit to him. Look, all this every year around this time, this always reminds me of when the Ravens drafted Joe Flacco because Joe Flacco was that guy.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco wasn't talked about at first until Mel Kiper started bringing him up. And when Mel Kiper started bringing him up, I started joking with B about Joe Flacco, right? Because anytime they're talking about the quarterbacks, it was Matt Ryan. I can't remember who else was in that draft, but Matt Ryan was clearly the number one guy.
What's up there, Purple Rain Podcast?
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Make sure you guys subscribe to their channel. I'm sure you are. They're on fire right now, man. Like, definitely check them out. And Sutton, we definitely gotta get you on here to talk some UFC, man. So we're gonna set that up soon. Yes, sir. Rain Gang. Yes, we're gonna get him on here talking some UFC. Sutton does a video now talking UFC as well, and he breaks down the fights really well. In fact, he was perfect on the top 3 fights. He picked them all perfectly. So yeah, man, good stuff over there. But yes, back to my Flacco story. I used to joke with B, and this is why me and B don't joke around anymore, because we joke around about who's going to get who, right? And he was always like, man, I don't know, man, you guys might get Flacco. And I was like, oh yeah, Flacco, because Mel Kiper, just anytime he was talking about anybody that year, he would bring up Joe Flacco. He'd be like, yeah, that edge rusher, man, he looked good. But Joe Flacco, right? And I'm just like, yo, is this his nephew or something? Like, why is he always mentioning Joe Flacco? Because Mel's from Baltimore and he's got ties to Baltimore. And he's always plugging Joe Flacco. And I joked about it. And dog, when we traded up to get Joe Flacco, I was sick. I was so sick.
It's the same thing that I used to laugh at Jose about how the Ravens were drafting Devin Funchess, and then you all know what happened there. Like, we don't play those games anymore.
Yeah, so we stopped joking about it.
Fun.
Joe Flacco obviously worked out for us, but at the time,
nobody wins those games.
Yeah. Yo, Click One, what's good? Hey, I saw your video, Click One. I had to do some search for it, but I saw your video. Let me know what you think about Sammy Watkins. I know you didn't want to get Sammy Watkins when you put out that video, but now that we have him, what's your opinion of him? Okay, Ferris said he predicted Francis, and that's all he cares about. And also, because Ferris is our patron, and we do his show all the time. And in fact, make sure you're subscribed to Let's Get Ready Network. All right, he does the highlight show. We failed to mention the leg kick, the head kick that Francis Ngannou did so spectacularly in the fight. He couldn't believe it. It was actually a good kick, man. It was a good kick, and it was surprising. But look, man, Francis Ngannou, he stepped his game up. That's all I can say. He stepped his game up. All right. Garnett West says the funniest thing about Jones is the media says he's competitive in every way possible, but when I look at his body, I can tell he ain't competitive in the gym. Hey, look.
You didn't see him going out for that pass and making that catch in the end zone, Garner? That was a very impressive way to end his pro day.
This is our favorite evaluation of a guy that is not going to be good. It always starts out with, he may not be an athlete. ... But he's just a football player. They do it in basketball. They do it in basketball too. He may not be athletic, but he's just a basketball player. That means he's not going to make it in the NBA. If you're not athletic, if it starts out with you're not athletic, you're not going to make it in the NBA. Okay, you have to be athletic. That's the number one criteria. Football too. Let's just be honest. You can't just be a football player. You gotta have some athleticism. Yeah. All right, but yeah, Justin Fields looked good. Yeah. He looked good. He had a good workout. He looked good throwing the ball. He's everything that you want out of a quarterback. I mean, he showed it to you. Mm-hmm. But don't be surprised if Mac Jones goes before him.
Yeah, okay. And Dan Orlovsky's out here, passing on anonymous quotes about his work ethic. And, as a lot of people pointed out, because he said, he's the last one in, first one out, and all this. That's what I'm hearing from decision makers. And a lot of people pointed out that, Justin Fields was one of the most vocal about playing this season to begin with.
Yes.
And that he didn't need to play.
No, he didn't.
He was the consensus number 2 pick. And without this season, he'd be going number 2.
Yes, Davon. Yes, exactly. He's such a great person. You guys already know how I feel about that. I said it, was it last week or the week before? If the first thing they say about you is he's a good guy, you do not want that guy. Okay. If the first thing they can say about you as a player is he's a good guy, you don't want that guy. That has your character has nothing to do with your skill level. Okay.
What's up, Tanja?
Tanja in the house. What's going on, Tanja? Thanks for joining the live stream. Man, you guys always surprise me every week, man. Every Wednesday, especially when there's nothing to talk about, I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be a quiet night, man. A few people will show up. But, man, you guys really show out, man. I really appreciate you guys. All right. Ferris says, Andre Miller was that player in the NBA. Yes, that's the closest person that was non-athletic, but he was still way more athletic.
That's only because you remember him in his 20th year. He had some athleticism.
Yeah. Like he was athletic early on, and he just honed in on the skills so he could last, like B said, until he was 40. I mean, he played forever. All right, Deshaun says Dan Orlovsky is the last guy I want to hear from about desire to win when he ran out of the back of his end zone. Man. Yes, in his own time.
That's because he was so focused on getting that ball out and making a play. He didn't know where he was at. He didn't have the situational awareness.
Yeah.
But he has the will to win, though.
And Ferris says Fields is just as good as Trevor Lawrence. It may be true. Click One says Kevin Love used to be pretty unathletic. No, Kevin Love was pretty athletic. I mean, if you're comparing them to the top athletes, no,
Yeah,
but no, Kevin Love is pretty athletic.
it's you have to have a certain baseline of
Yes,
athleticism.
yes,
You know, you don't have to be a freak athlete, but you have to have a certain baseline, or you're
right,
just not going to make
exactly. All right, so keeping the theme going with pro days, we're going to get into wide receiver talk. Right, we had a couple of we had the LSU pro days going on today, so
it. Yeah.
we just wanted to talk about. Look, for me and B, we still feel like wide receiver is still the number one need. Sammy Watkins didn't do anything to change our minds, right? There's still some talk that, maybe we're interested in AB. We can talk about that later. Okay. I know edge rusher is a concern. We'll talk about that too. But like we say here, it's defund the defense. Until the offense is right, put your resources in the offense. Defense gets whatever's left over. Defense is good, by the way. The defense is still good, even though we don't have great edge rushers. We didn't have great edge rushers last year either. I think we're still in good shape. So let's focus on the offense. And we're going to talk about edge rushers. Don't you worry about that. But this week we want to focus on wide receivers. So B did a breakdown of the wide receivers, our top wide receivers that we have listed, and we'll get into possibilities of what's going on.
Our top wide receivers, but just we had some requests to talk about some of the wide receivers that would be available or potentially available.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the top ones available to us. Yeah.
So we looked at 5 wide receivers. So I'll just start with the guy who I had lowest, who was Rondale Moore, who ran a 4.2940 at his pro day, like Garnett said, and he got in on that sale. He's a very athletic guy. 5'9", 175, super fast, very, very quick, very explosive. But he doesn't really have a lot of route running ability, I wouldn't say. And he's mostly a screen and manufactured touch guy. And, and he can make plays once he has the ball in his hands. But the thing with Rondale Moore is that he has a very long injury history. He spent most of the last 2 years injured. I believe he played a total of 7 games in 2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
So for me, I wouldn't be looking at him if I were Baltimore unless they're going to do the Ravens thing and wait until the 2nd or 3rd round to draft their wide receiver.
Right. I think he'll be gone before that.
Yeah, I think he'll be probably in the early part of that 2nd round.
And Purple Rain thinks Trevor Lawrence is going to be Justin Herbert 2.0. That could happen too.
I mean, man, that's kind of at this point. That's kind of an insult to Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's been the man since his freshman year.
Not. Herbert's really good this year.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, Trevor Lawrence has been a better prospect than Herbert from day one. So
right,
it's kind of weird to have that comparison now. You know?
I mean, if he turns into Justin Herbert, that means he's doing great. So that's not a knock against him at all.
So next up, and I know a lot of people have this guy much higher on this guy than I am. Terrace Marshall.
Terrace Marshall, yeah.
From LSU, 6'3", 200 pounds. He tests like a great athlete. But just on film, you don't really, or at least I don't really see it. He has that top end speed. He ran a 4.38, but it takes him a while to kind of ramp up to that speed. He's not a sudden athlete.
Right.
I didn't see much ability after the catch, unless he just had an open lane, where he could use his speed. But no real making guys miss or breaking tackles or anything like that. I should start off also by saying that none of these guys have great hands. None of them, and not to say that they can't catch or anything like that, but none of them are going to wow you with their hands the way like a DeAndre Hopkins does.
Right.
You'll see all of these guys just dropping what are pretty routine passes.
Right. And that's a concentration thing. Like, that's something they can definitely fix.
You can, but Terrace Marshall, he's more of a intermediate and deep threat. But to be honest, I watched a few of his games today again, and he looks like he gets kind of lazy on shorter routes or when he doesn't think he's getting the ball. I don't see it with Terrace Marshall, what everybody else is seeing. Right. So I mean, I guess you can take that with a grain of salt, but that's not my guy there. Yeah. I have him 4th out of the 5 wide receivers.
Okay, real quick. So G-Star 007, what's going on, man? He actually wanted to know who our top wide receivers in the draft are. We're kind of going through that list right now. So yeah, just keep watching.
Yeah,
So we,
the top five: Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith,
yep,
and then we'll mention the other two a little bit later because we're going to
yeah.
talk about it.
Tanja says no more injury players, Rodney. Okay, she's done with
Look,
injury players.
I mean, I didn't say draft. I'm just
No, no, we're not talking about drafting. We're just kind of going through, guys that we're kind of listening to guys that we think are going to be available, and just guys that we might have a chance of targeting.
yeah.
That's kind of where we're at right now.
So next up, we
Hold
had
on.
okay.
Click one wants to know Bateman or Terrence Marshall. All right, so we'll answer that question. Let's get through the evaluations and we'll kind of tell you what we're looking at. But you guys keep throwing comments in there. And we'll get to them. Go ahead, B.
So next up, we had Diami Brown, who is the 6'1", 195 out of UNC. He's an outside receiver. He's a vertical threat. He's got some good technique running those deep routes, and he's got all kinds of athleticism. Right. He's, like I said, very sudden. He has that. He's explosive. He has that first step, and he also has the long speed, and he can just run away from guys. And if you watch him, it seems like he can kind of he can win those one-on-one battles downfield all day. But he's not a guy who's going to offer much else on day one. So I don't think he's going to be a consistent contributor as a rookie. So again, he's somebody I would stay away from in the first round. If they wait till the second and he's still there, I think that's a good pick. But I don't think he's going to offer a whole lot in year one necessarily. So that brings us to the last two. Kadarius Toney and Rashad Bateman. So when we're talking about guys who can contribute as rookies, and I don't mean like over 1,000 yards, but I mean just consistent every week contributors, give you more than Miles Boykin or Devin Duvernay are doing. I think these are really the only two guys that Baltimore will have a shot at who can do that for them. Kadarius Toney, he's 5'11", 190. I think he might have actually measured in a little bit taller than that. I think he might have hit 6 feet, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But again, great athlete, very explosive athlete. He's not a fantastic route runner. He's not a guy who's going to win downfield for you at this point in his career. I think he can develop into that, but he's somebody you want to get the ball in their hands as much as possible. He can win in the short and intermediate routes. And, once he gets the ball, he's got great balance and strength as a runner. Like, it's hard to bring him down. You can't do one of those Sports Center shots and just put your shoulder into him and expect him to fall. He's not going down.
Yeah.
And he's just a playmaker all over the field. He can play out of the backfield as well. And he does have experience as a return man. So personally, I think that he would be my pick just because I prefer home run hitters, right? But the best route runner, the most skilled wide receiver that I think Baltimore's going to have a chance at is Rashad Bateman. He's 6'1", 210 out of Minnesota. He's a very smooth route runner. He can win. He's more of the intermediate and deep routes, but he can win all over the field basically. Just from watching it, I don't see a whole lot of after the catch ability. I mean, he'll get what's there, but he's not going to be, again, making guys miss, constantly. But he does look like a good safe pick, a possession receiver, and he does a good job working back to the ball on his routes. And if you want to get somebody who is already well along in their development and can help Baltimore right now, Rashad Bateman is probably that guy.
Okay. All right. So, you and I kind of discussed it earlier today about who's going to be available. I'm a little bit more pessimistic about our chances of getting some of these guys. Like Bateman, I don't think that's assuming we stay at 27. I don't think we're going to get Rashad Bateman.
I don't think so either.
And honestly, I don't think Terrace Marshall either, if we're being honest, because like I said, 40 times changes the hearts and minds of of coaches and evaluators all the time. And yes, you had some fast guys that dropped, but like Terrace Marshall was already projected to be like, that low second, high, or high second, low first round pick. I think that 40 time kind of shot him up the board. And I don't know, man. I think Kadarius Toney might be who's available.
I think he'll be there, and I do think he's the best pick again, just because he has that playmaking ability that Baltimore's really lacking on offense.
Yeah. Okay. G Star 007 says Tyler Wallace is a sleeper day 2 or day 3 pick. Okay. All right. Fair says when Terrace became the number 1 option this year, nothing from him.
I wouldn't say nothing, but I mean, he
Different,
put up
completely different team this
nice
year.
stats, but yeah,
Yeah.
they were not a good team.
Yeah. So let's go through some of these here. Clip 1 wants to know Bateman or Marshall. Oh yeah, okay, I read that one already. Yeah. So Bateman or Marshall, I don't know if either one will be there, but if I had to pick, I would go with Bateman over Marshall. Look, the top guys, we're just realistically, we're not going to be able to get them.
No.
Right? We're not going to be able, unless we pull off some trade with Orlando Brown, which at this point I'm not even sure if that's going to happen, and we get a higher pick than expected. Then maybe, but no, I'm not expecting that. Hoping for Bateman. If Bateman is within reach, I wouldn't mind trading up a couple spots to get him, to be honest. Let's see. Click 1 says, I'm with you, Rodney. I think he is a bit overrated prospect. I'm taking Bateman over Marshall all day. No hate on Marshall to think he's a good player. Yeah. The thing about it is, a lot of these guys, all these guys that we mentioned, we like, right, for the long term. I think the ones that aren't ready to contribute as much day 1 or in that first year are going to develop into good players.
Yeah. That group, I think that's not ready day 1 necessarily. I think that Diami Brown is the best. I think if they're going to pass in the first round, then he's the guy that they should target.
Yeah. The problem that I have is that we're not good at developing, right? And 2, we need guys that can come in and contribute right now. I don't want to get guys that. Yeah.
Do they? Not if they sign Antonio.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely. Yes. If they get AB, then that's something different. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about a little AB real quick. So there's a rumor started by Shannon Sharp. Okay. So if this turns out to be completely false, I'm blaming Shannon Sharp from Undisputed. Okay. That's the source. They talked about it on the show. I think it was yesterday that the Ravens are still showing interest in AB. And to me, that's great. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. That's the boogeyman around here. But the fact is he hasn't signed yet. Now, to be clear, Tampa Bay does want him back. They did make him an offer. He just hasn't responded back to them yet. But the offer is still on the table, so he could go back to Tampa Bay. But that tells me that he's still exploring his options. And maybe behind the scenes, the Ravens are talking to him, right? Maybe look, his cousin's here. Lamar's here, maybe they're trying to make a strong push to get him here. That would be great. And if we do get him, then yes, we don't have to talk about wide receiver in the first round, right? Get one of these guys in the second or third round that we can develop, and hopefully our new pass game coordinator and wide receiver coaches can develop these guys.
Yeah.
So
Noah's asking, what about center in the first round? Wouldn't be opposed to that, except that centers typically drop, so you'll be able to get a center on day 2 most likely.
And I haven't even seen any prospects there. I mean, I could have missed somebody, but I haven't seen anybody that's projected to go in the first round at center.
I think Landon Dickerson may go in the first. Not sure about anybody else though.
Look, if they did that, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. Real quick, hold on. Hold on. Let me read this real quick, and then we'll do our little. Hold on. Do y'all think Terrace Marshall said about wanting to go to a team that actually throws the ball?
Yeah, I did see that. But look, he's right. And I don't know. I think it was Sutton I saw saying, what happened to wanting to win or something like that. Man, look, throwing the ball is how you win.
Yeah. Yes. Look, man.
But it does at this point in 2021, it does come across as I want to go anywhere but Baltimore. Right?
I don't want to go on a rant about this, but you're gonna start making me angry. V is not you, Sutton. But I mean, look, a wide receiver should absolutely care about getting catches. That's his job. Yeah. That's his job, man. You don't want an edge rusher that says, I don't care about sacks.
Yeah.
right? You don't want a tackle that says, I give up a sack here and there, but who cares? For the most part, I get it done. It's not a big deal, right? You don't want running backs that don't care about carries. Like
Yeah.
you want guys that play the position to want to excel at their jobs. I damn sure don't want a wide receiver that's thinking first and foremost, I need to be the best blocker possible.
Yeah,
I don't want
King
that.
Pugo. Yeah, I don't think he meant it that way either. I think what he meant more was, I want to go somewhere where I'm going to affect the game and help us win. I think that's what he meant.
Sure,
But,
sure,
you know,
sure.
say
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
that.
Like
Ravens fans are going to be, they're going to hear something else.
right. I mean, yeah, I can't see him saying that, especially when he's not like the top prospect, right? Like he still has some things he needs to work on. He comes in his rookie season and starts dropping passes, and people start looking at him like they looked at Hollywood last year. You know what I mean? All right, we got 30 people in here. Real quick, if you're new here, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. All right. If you're a regular, thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight, man. It's a Wednesday night. It's raining over here, in the Baltimore area. And it's pretty slow. It's a pretty slow news week, sports news week, man. But you guys are still here hanging out with us, man. Really appreciate you guys. All right.
Yeah.
So hit the subscribe if you want to support the show. Like a lot of you guys in here, like our man Davon, Deshaun, Ferris. Okay, you guys are patrons, and we appreciate you guys, man. Like you help drive this show. Right above me, right there, patreon.com/LBHT show. Right. We got 2 tiers. We got the $3 tier, right, which will get you guys all of our extra bonus stuff. We gotta put up some more videos. I keep saying that we gotta put some more videos out. We do an overtime show after this show, which is really fun. You guys will like that. And then we're gonna do a Pick'ems League when the season starts. That's gonna be fun. We have our current Pick'em League champion, Jansen. Let's call him Javon. Jansen, who's usually in the chat. He's not here tonight, but he won it this year. And then we got the $10 tier. The $10 tier will get you a nice coin. B, do you have your coin? Do you have your coin?
I do not. You know that I don't have my coin because I had a whole new setup and it's not on the desk anymore right now. All right.
Oh,
It'll be back.
Look at that. Get you a shiny founder's coin. Okay. Get you one of those for $10 a month. There are limited supplies, so we only have a few left. And if you happen to be one of the lucky ones to get one of these coins, when we start adding more tiers, because eventually we get bigger, we're going to add more tiers. You will still be eligible for all the higher tiers, all the bonuses. You don't have to pay anything extra. Just show us your challenge coin and you will be eligible. All right. And that tier also, we're going to be doing fantasy football. So if you're big into fantasy football, all right, at the $10 tier, you can do fantasy and Pick'em League. All right. So thank you. Check us out. And also, I know you guys are wondering. You're probably wondering, man, where's the super chat? I'm trying to do a super chat here and I can't do it. Well, we don't have one. Okay, we don't have one. So if you want to do a super chat, right above there, $ LBHT show, Cash App. Okay, drop a low donation in the Cash App. All right, leave a comment and we will read it on air. All right, thank you very much. And also, we got some merch, but we're going to send out to you later on in the show. Okay, I don't want to keep this infomercial going for much longer. But yes, okay. So, what do you want to go to next? Do you want to get into some
and
USC?
Speaking of, we did get a Cash App from Keith Cobb. I said, I got to get in the pattern. Keep grinding, family. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. And that's how you do it. Okay. Now, eventually, when we get a little bit more advanced, we'll be able to flash some graphics on the screen so you can actually see the comments. But yeah. So, all right. Davon says AB. Yes. He tells me go on my rant. Yes. Yes. Deshaun. Absolutely. Imagine wanting a QB that doesn't want to throw. Absolutely. You don't want a QB that just wants to hand off the ball or run.
Right.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna start again, man. Don't get me started. Our QB should not be leading the team in rushes. That's all I'm saying. Okay. One says throwing the ball gets you to the Super Bowls, running the ball gets you to the playoffs. Man, I should pin that comment. That is 100% true. That is 100% true. Look, we've had a lot of success, man. Like the team is good. Like me and B, sometimes we sound a little negative in our opinions of the moves that they're making, but that's because we're close to winning a Super Bowl. And in order to win a Super Bowl, you have to do those extra things to beat the teams in front of us, because none of what we're doing so far is going to beat the Chiefs. You can say what you want about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We can't do that to them. Okay. Yeah. We can't do that to them. And that team that was able, what are you laughing at, V?
My bad, godson. I gotta read the name that pops up on the Cash App, man. I don't know.
Yeah. We got to figure that out too, because we don't want to be putting people's government names out there. Our bad. I mean, you made it worse by telling everybody who it was. Okay, like, be out here naming names. Okay, but none of what we've done so far is going to get us to the Super Bowl. That's just reality. Yeah. You already see Kansas City making some moves to improve their O-line this offseason. And, I mean, look, we talked about Rondale Moore, right, running a 4.29 and just, not being polished yet and having injury concerns. He might end up on the Chiefs, right? Yeah. He might end up on the Chiefs, and he'll be Tyreek Hill number 2. Right, along with Mecole Hardman.
Well, you're gonna say number 3 after Mecole.
Number 3, yeah. So
Z the Beast.
Z the Beast, what's going on? He says coaching. Yeah, man. Ferris says he wants Daniel Jones to hand the ball off. Yes, Ferris is a Giants fan.
y'all just pay $18 million a year for him to throw to, though.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, look, he better throw that ball. Yes, he better throw that ball. He has weapons over there. So shout out to the Giants. They did a good job getting their quarterback weapons. So, Little Legend said Michael Phelps out here. He out there. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into some USC talk real quick. And then we're going to finish up with some NFL talk. And, we'll leave it open, do a little bonus time and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about for a few minutes. And then we'll do the overtime over on Patreon. All right. So if you're not into USC, still stick around, man, because this is it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about some John Jones. Right. Let's set it up real quick. Let's set it up. All right. John Jones wants out of his current USC contract. Why is that? Now, over the weekend, like we talked about in the beginning, Francis Ngannou is a new heavyweight champion. He knocked out Stipe Miocic with a nice
spectacular knockout.
Nice left. Well, either he knocked him out, or you could say Stipe knocked himself out by running into the hook. But he got knocked out and almost tore his ACL in the process. It was that hard of a knockout. Francis Ngannou has amazing strength and knockout power. I mean, this guy's he's a rock. Mm-hmm. And he has elevated his skill level, so he's added some more to his repertoire. He's not just a brawler out there, right? He's got some technique with his style. Now, John Jones moved up to heavyweight to fight either Stipe or Francis Ngannou, but he's been saying the whole time that he wants to get paid. He doesn't want to go out there and just get paid on the same contract that he's on right now. He wants more money. He's been on record for saying that. And Dana White just doesn't want to give him that money. So now he's just like, look, if you don't want to pay me, if you're going to go out there and talk trash about me and all this stuff, just let me out of my contract. And you know what? I agree.
Well, and he did say, I believe it was earlier today, that he's had one meeting with the UFC or a phone call with the UFC regarding an Ngannou fight, and that they are talking about $8 to $10 million. And he said he's not doing it for that.
Well, hold on. Ferris out here breaking some news here. I didn't hear about this. Y'all hear the Endeavor is buying the USC outright? Who's the Endeavor? Who's that?
I heard that they were being bought. I didn't hear by who.
But the USC just got bought.
Yep. And
they're selling it again? They got bought for $4 billion the first time. So what's it going for now? That's going to be interesting. Now, are they going to keep Dana White on? That's the question.
They shouldn't.
So, yeah. Look, I agree with John Jones, right? They plan on making a lot of money off of this fight. Mm-hmm. Pay him. If this were Conor, you would pay him accordingly, right? And Conor would make sure you pay him accordingly, right? Conor does the same thing. He does the same thing. He's not taking a fight unless the money's right.
Yeah.
right? And he demands it. John Jones should absolutely be demanding that kind of money. But, look, Dana's not going to pay him at the end of the day.
I don't like seeing former fighters. They had Chael Sonnen and Bisping talking about, if you really wanted the fight, you would just say, hey, let's do the fight. It's not about the money. Let's do the fight. No, it's all about the money. It's his
always
career.
about the money. Yeah. Look, I know. Look, it's not just UFC fans. Right? Boxing fans do this too. They don't understand that this is 100% a business. It is a business. Now I know Dana White has created a culture over there of, your it's all about your rep and your pride, and you should want to fight over everything else. No, it's still a business at the end of the day. You got to make money, and when you're great at that sport, when you're like one of the top dogs, like John Jones is, it is absolutely about the money. Right? He's only going to fight a few more times. He's dominated everybody. There's nothing to prove at this point. There's always going to be the next person up. You can always say, oh, he didn't fight this person, or he's running from this person. It's always going to be that person, right? But for the most part, he's dominated everybody that means something in the sport. So he has nothing to prove. He's one of the greatest of all times. And now he's taking on a bigger challenge. Absolutely, he understands that, and he wants to be compensated for it. And he should. And it's not about being scared. It's just the business side of the sport.
Right. Because, the UFC is not going to be looking out for you. I mean, look at how they're treating Stipe right now. Stipe is one of your greatest heavyweight champions of all time.
Yep.
Nobody's talking about give Stipe a rematch. Nobody said, hey, give Stipe that John Jones fight. They said, no, make him get in with that killer again and see if he can do it one more time.
And that was to your point earlier about saying that Ngannou wasn't deserving of another fight, right? Because he already beat him, and Stipe has earned the right to take on a mega match with John Jones, not Ngannou.
Especially at his age, it's not like he has that many more fights left.
Yeah, he's almost 40. So I mean, yes, he's already almost up there. But Dana controls the sport, and he sells people on, I want the best fighters fighting all the time or whatever, but that's not really the case. He just wants the fights that he wants to see because he's just a fanboy. And Deshaun says, imagine if Conor tweeted, show me the money. I'd imagine Dana would in fact show him the money he wants. Yes, and he's done it before. So why does he have an issue now? Oh yeah, Dana is from Boston. Yes, yes. I've had my issues with Dana. It's well documented on here. Z the Beast says, Street Jesus is going to resurrect Usman. John Jones is the GOAT. He shouldn't be fighting for less than 20 mil. He's never lost a fight by another man other than the ref. That is true, except for Usman losing to Masvidal. Masvidal is going to get knocked out. Okay,
Usman is going to wreck that man.
He is going to wreck Masvidal. All right, the first fight, it was pretty dry match. He dominated him on the ground and against the cage, and people are like, oh, all he did was stomp on Masvidal's feet. He didn't do anything. Yeah, Masvidal couldn't do anything about it though. Yeah. And Usman said, hey, I gave him chances to get off the cage. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want it. Look, Masvidal is a good talker. He had that great knockout against what's his name, Askren. That's great and all, but
he was tweeting about that too. How that one lucky knee made him famous, and it's true.
Yeah, it's true. And look, I mean, he's always been a mid-tier fighter. He's never been a champion. He's a mid-level fighter.
Pretty sure he's the BMF champ. Yeah.
My bad. He's got the $1 million belt. That's what he has. Okay, yeah. He's Ted DiBiase. That's who he is. He's $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. All right, congratulations.
No,
but he's never going to be champion
because that belt was awesome. This is ridiculous. You made up a fake belt so he so you can keep promoting him, because he can't beat the top guys.
Yeah. Purple Rain Podcast says, plus Dana doesn't really like John Jones, shocker, because his last 4 fights had been lackluster and he almost lost a few of them. That's not why he doesn't like John Jones.
I think he didn't like him before that also, but
yes, yeah. And you'll see a trend with Dana not liking certain types of fighters. Okay. Click One wants to know, Do you and Bronny think Stipe should get his rematch? Yeah.
If he wants it, I think he should get it.
Yeah. Look, I would love to see Ngannou and John Jones just as a fan, for sure. But we're talking about what's deserved and what's earned. I mean, we can't dominate the heavyweight division
Ferris.
for that long and just be like, oh, now you don't get a rematch. Why not? You beat him before.
You know what it reminded me of too. I don't know what year it was, but when LSU beat Alabama to win the SEC championship, and then the committee put Alabama in the championship game against LSU, and Alabama beat them, and they're the champs. All of a sudden, like, you're 1-1. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Fair says there's so many reasons to hate John Jones. Really?
I mean, yeah,
to hate or to love? Like, let's break it down. Like, why do you hate John Jones? He's arrogant.
He's a cheater and a drug addict.
Well, yeah. You can't. Yes. If that's the case, yes, you can't.
But at the same time, also, you got to cancel one of those out because he did run down that first matchup.
I'm not going. No. We're not doing the drug addict thing. He has a drug addiction. Okay, he has a drug addiction. Okay, we're not calling our black athletes drug addicts anymore because the white athletes always get called. He has an addiction. He's got a problem. He's fixing it. So John Jones has an addiction.
Well, white athletes usually get dehydration, right? Not even a drug
addiction. yeah. Oh, that's right. That's what happened with Costa, right? He had the flu. Costa had the flu, guys. Okay. He had the flu that's going to keep him out for 2 months. You ever heard of a flu like that? Yeah. I love John Jones, but he did cheat a few times. Well, you're probably right. I'm not going to argue that. He got caught once, but yeah, he probably did cheat a few times. Hey, if that's your reason, that's legit, man. I can't argue that because there's no place for that in that sport, man. Combat sports, you can't be on steroids. You absolutely can't be on steroids, and that's always bothered me about that second fight with Cormier. He knocked him out, and I think he's a better fighter than Cormier. I think he's a more skilled fighter, no doubt. But that fight in my mind always sticks out. It's just like, would it have been different? I don't think so. But I mean,
but you'll never know because Cormier brought it in that fight.
He brought it. Cormier, man, he's just like right below John Jones in my book. He's just right below John Jones, and yeah, Cormier was there. He was ready for it, man. And it's just one of those things like, man, what if you never know. You never know. So that does bother me. And that's your reason why you don't like him. I totally understand that. But that's not why Dana doesn't like him. Okay. All right. He hit a pregnant woman's car and ran away. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I did not know that. I had not heard of that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But yeah. That's what it is, I guess.
I'm willing to bet you can pull up any one of these guys' rap sheets, and you'll see some awful things.
I was about to say, I heard Aaron Rodgers made a pregnant lady walk to the hospital while she was in labor because he didn't want to move while they were filming a commercial.
Aaron Rodgers is a jerk, though. Aaron Rodgers is a total jerk. All right, okay, we're gonna finish this out with some NFL talk. All right, I know you guys been waiting for it. Okay, this is I know you guys have been asking for it. Right, the fans have been asking, the players have been asking. NFL is getting a 17th game. I know that's what you wanted, right? You wanted a 17th game. Yes, we did it, guys. So I don't know if you guys remember us saying this when we were talking about the cap, right? This cap that keeps players from getting paid, and we don't have enough money to pay players. And I said, if the owners wanted to get rid of the cap, all they would have to do is get on a Zoom call and say, guys, are you good with getting rid of the cap like right now? Yes. Everybody's in favor. Cap will be gone tomorrow. It happens just like that. And what just happened with the 17th game? They got together on a Zoom call. They said, all right, guys, are we good? We're going to add a 17th game? Yes. Game added. Yeah. Just like that.
The draft is in less than 30 days, and they're like, we're going to fundamentally change the structure of our league.
Like you didn't even do it before free agency. Yeah. You didn't do it before free agency. You just decided, now we want to do it now. Let's just do it. And here it is. The owners have that much power. So don't ever buy into that whole cap room nonsense, man. That is all fabricated, man. That's just a way for them to keep more money in their pockets. But as plenty of teams have shown they can get around that cap garbage anytime that they want, because it's not meant to restrict the owners. It's meant to restrict the players. So, yes. So let's talk about the 17th game that they're adding. So apparently the opponents are going to be added. That's going to be the last week of the season. I thought it was going to be, just added in, shuffled into the schedule. But the Ravens are going to be playing the Rams. And I guess that's going to be the week 17 game. Is that how it's going to break down?
I don't know. I was under the impression that it was just going to be added in because, if they're going to, I didn't want a 17th game. Like, I don't have any need for it or anything. But if they're going to use it to actually give marquee games, then that's good. Because, they've got the Chiefs playing the Packers, the Ravens and the Rams, the Seahawks and the Steelers. So, like, you're getting some matchups that they should honestly just be scheduling already anyway.
Yeah.
But, if that's what comes out of having a 17th game, then fine. Whatever, I guess.
Yeah. To me, it just isn't. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see a reason other
Garnett,
than.
No, that's not what it's going to be.
Well, hold on. What did Garnett say? I'll look at some extra games. Hold on. He said, I'll look at it as an extra game for players to get extra pay when it comes to incentives.
Because what's going to happen is just either those players will get benched, which, they do now. Or, in moving forward, contracts will just be like, okay, well, it's not, you don't need 1,000 yards now. Now you need 1,250.
Yeah. So, look who's here.
What's up, Suge?
Oh man, Suge is in the house. Make sure you check out Suge Knight 323.
I know positivity is your thing, man. I know.
Suge Knight 323 on Twitch. You're on Twitch now, right? Yeah, he's on Twitch
and
man.
TikTok.
And TikTok. All right. He's a big Steelers fan, but that's okay. We still love him. All right. He'll talk sports. He talks Schmodown. All right. So make sure you guys give him a follow if you guys are on Twitch. All right. And TikTok. The pay, how is that being broken down? They haven't really given out any details on this, right?
Right.
So
you just get your salary for the year, and it just gets divided amongst the games anyway. So they'll just make less per week.
So that's what I was going to ask. See, that's what I was going to ask. Are they just dividing up their current salary, or are they prorating that 17th game?
No, it's going to be just, okay, well, now, you're making a little less every week, and you're going to get your full salary. So
I wouldn't play. I'm dead serious. I understand some of these players have to make some money, and it is what it is. But if I got some money, I'm not playing. You're not going to add an extra game that I'm playing for free? Hell no. Imagine your job telling you, yeah, you're going to work 10 hours now, but we're not paying you for those extra 2 hours.
Yeah. No, but we are. We're just going to pay you less for the first 8.
Yeah, yeah. Hell no, I'm not playing. Hell no. So if that's the case, what's going to happen is nobody's going to play week 17. You're going to see like the third string guys. It's going to be preseason essentially.
Well, I mean, they'll play, but like initially when they first started talking about this, they were saying, they were throwing around ideas like, okay, well, we'll have a 17th game, but players are only allowed to play in 16. So like you would have to have another quarterback start your 17th game, and I'm not in favor of that at all. But we'll see if they kind of throw anything else in there.
So it is preseason. It's a preseason game, right? So okay, Jonathan Carrington's in the house. What's going on?
What's up, John?
John said it's like paying rent. It's like paying rent. He said prorated amount, no longer longer the lease, cheaper the monthly payment. Yeah, man. But look, you're not lowering my pay.
I agree with that, Garnett. I don't like having a trade deadline early in any season.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Garnett says, they need to move back the trade deadline, in my opinion. At least push it to week 13 because that's when injuries really hit the fan. Yeah, I agree. They already needed to push it back, and I think they did. Right? It's like week 8 now. Right? Is that the new trade deadline? It used to be week 6.
Yeah, they moved it. Is it week 8? I don't remember, but it needs to be closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they didn't think this through at all. This is just the owner saying we want the 17th game now because we want to make some more money, and we get what we want, so we're gonna do it.
Yep.
So this is a friendly reminder that owners run this league, and they can do whatever they want to do at any time.
Like honestly, with the trade deadline thing, man, like the whole point is so you know if your season's over and if you need to dump those bets.
Yeah, living legends. I would tell my job to suck it like Shawn Michaels. That's right. Absolutely, a lot of people would. You're not getting extra work out of me for free. Nope. Garnett says NFL is going into the military direction when it comes to money and hours of labor. Yeah. In military, you're technically on the clock 24/7. So that's how they do it there. But I'm curious to see how the fallout is for this game, for these games, this extra game. Click one. People are hyping up the Chiefs and Packers matchup. So much. I guarantee you that the Chiefs will have clinched the number 1 seed by AFC. Then we'll see with Rodgers if he plays.
Well, if it's the 17th week, I mean, yeah, that'll happen with a lot of those games. But my understanding was that they were just going to be mixed into the schedule. But I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you guys know, put it in the chat because I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be mixed in the schedule or if that's just going to be added at the end of the year. I'm not sure. Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen anything saying how they're going to do that. But if it is at the end of the year, because what they were doing last year is they wanted all the division games to be at the end of the year.
Yeah,
right?
Last few years.
I think if they do it this way, it's definitely they have to mix it in. They have to mix it in.
Yeah,
us playing the Rams at the end of the year, unless we need that win again to the playoffs, that's going to be a preseason game for sure.
Yeah,
and that's what they're trying to eliminate. So they have to be mixing these games in, and that's
so
not even a conference
they're
game.
Going to try to make these, like I said, marquee matchups, and they're going to mix them into the schedule, and then you have those kind of matchups all year.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I hope these primetime games are good. Yeah. Frankie B9, thank you for joining the live stream, man. Week 17 is going to be a lot of practice squad players. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling. Okay, he says from what he's heard, it's going to be mixed into the year. That's what I would think.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah. Well, but Fair says we don't know because they don't know.
This is also true.
Yeah,
we don't know because they don't care. Like you said, it's we got the 17th game. We'll figure out the rest later.
Yeah. King of Pugo says make them the first game. Yeah.
How did you do a schedule drop and then this?
Yeah, and then figure it out. Mr. J the Sixth, thank you for joining the live stream. Also, one of our fellow patrons. Do y'all think Micah Simmons could be a poor man's version of Curtis Samuel if used properly?
Not familiar with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I think. Any of these guys that could break out or need some development are guys that I don't want on this current team. Okay, we just
not early anyway.
Not early. With our first and second round picks, maybe even our third, I really want the folks to go on offense. I want to get guys that can help now and also grow, because we didn't do a lot in free agency. In fact, we didn't do much at all. We didn't do much at all. Kevin Zeitler.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Micah Simon. No, when he said I was thinking of players in the upcoming draft. Carolina signed Micah Simon. He was undrafted out of BYU. And listen, I don't know. I don't think so. I try not to put much stock into those kind of signings, because if he was Curtis Samuel, he probably would have got drafted. But
where did Curtis Samuel get drafted?
Second round. Especially after I don't know if you remember Jay Kiaris Garrett.
That
was early on when PFF started covering the draft, and they were like, "Oh, he's a steal." That's the best signing. After draft signing in the league was Kiaris Garrett.
Yeah,
that man never played a snap.
Yeah. So, did he go to the Browns?
We'll see. No, he went to Carolina.
Oh, that's right.
Him and what's his name? Peters, the corner from Clemson.
So there are a few guys that we look at. Look, draft Twitter is full of guys that are very knowledgeable. They do their homework. They have the analytics. They read a lot, watch a lot of film, and they do their homework. And some people, put out some grades, and they rank these players. And me and B read all the stuff. And some guys we respect more than others, and we really get into what they say. But they're human as well, right? And
Yeah.
they're going off the information that they have. They don't get to interview these guys. They don't get to see all their practices and workouts and all that stuff. And sometimes, they put out their sleepers, and if they get one right, we take everything that they say as the gospel, right? And yes, when they tell us that, Kiaris Garrett is going to be, the next coming of Randy Moss, or, the other Michael Thomas, you guys didn't even know there's another Michael Thomas out there that's going to be every bit as good as Julio Jones, right?
Slant Boy did not appreciate that either. He didn't like that.
Like when they tell us stuff like that, we get all hyped up to see if this guy turns out to be good, and they get it wrong. They're human, so it's funny to talk about, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, every year there's a guy that we zero in on as like, I want that guy. I'm telling you, he's going to be good. You might even watch some tape yourself and look at somebody and say, yeah, if we get him, he's going to be good. We're going to do it again this year. B's going to do it this year. I mean, we're all going to do it. All right. It's just, it's fun. It's fun,
Mm-hmm.
making these predictions. But we're going to have to start, now that we're broadcasting this stuff, we're going to have to start keeping notes of what we get right, what we get wrong. All right. So everything that we're saying, you guys take notes and call us out when we get it right. All right. A couple more. All right. We'll open it up.
My favorite one of those was Trey McBride, 7th round pick. Trey McBride, who Matt Waldman told me was just as good as Amari Cooper.
That's who it was. Trey McBride. Yes. He had him ranked like number 2. Yes, I remember that. Okay.
Man, the other Steve Smith was good. All right, don't lump him in like that.
He was solid for the Giants.
He had like 1,300 yards one year, and then injuries just wrecked that dude.
All right, we're going to spend a few minutes doing a bonus time. Then afterwards, we're going to take this party over to our Patreon. If you want to join us, patreon.com/LBHT show. All right. The last couple of weeks, we were going for a while. We're talking movies, sports, everything. Went a lot longer. Guys, I'm going to let you know right now, I am dog tired. It's not going to go 2 hours this night. It's not going to go 2 hours. All right. We're gonna chill for a while. I'm not going to rush you out, but we ain't going to be here till 11 o'clock. But yes, right above me there, $3 tier or $10 tier. Right. Those are 2 ways you can support. Also, before I put the bonus time up, all right, if you guys like the merch, if you like what B is wearing, if you like this right here, okay, you can get one of these on our website. Go to lbhtshow.com/shop. Okay, we have all kinds of merch in there. We also got these mugs right here that you see me drinking out of. Oh, look at that. Okay, get you some merchandise. Also, hang out on the site. We put podcasts up there. B writes articles. I'm gonna start embedding some videos in there as well. So it's a one-stop shop on there. All right. So now we will get into bonus time, and whatever you guys want to talk about for a few minutes, man, just throw it in the chat and we will discuss it. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Noah says, according to research, extra NFL game will be an interconference matchup based on where teams finish in the previous season. AFC teams will be hosting the 17th game in 2021. Okay.
I don't like that. Just look, make the matchups that people want to see. Starting to sound like Dana White over here, but like our Eustace Mosqueda on Twitter, he used to make this point all the time. Like, you don't get to see marquee matchups in the NFL anywhere near enough.
Right.
Like, you can literally go entire careers without seeing top quarterbacks play against each other, if they're in different conferences, if they just don't make the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. And that's not the way that it should be.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. The other Steve Smith, though. That was Mr. J saying that. Garnett says some of those guys are BS. Let's be honest. Okay. You talking about the schedule?
I think he was talking about draft Twitter guys.
Oh, yes. But yes, that's true. You're right. Yeah, some of those guys. I mean, yes. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna start throwing shots. But yes, some of those guys are BS, and we don't read all of them. But look, it's for fun. At the end of the day, we're having fun. But some of those guys are better than others, even when they get it wrong. Like, they're doing real evaluation. Sometimes it's not an exact science here, right? Some of these guys have the tools, and they just don't work out. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody misses more than they hit when you're talking about the draft. Everybody.
This is a good question. When is Steve Bisciotti going to have his meeting with the media? I don't know. That's a good question. He didn't have that this year.
It's like whenever y'all get the power to make him. Because
Yeah.
if you don't want to do it, he ain't doing it.
I guess he doesn't want to be on record saying, "Yeah, I thought about firing John Harbaugh again." That is a good question, though. He usually has that. I would expect that coming up at some point. All right, click one says, "Do you guys think Baker is overrated because he has so much help and is still consistently inconsistent? He's not even a better passer than Kyler or Lamar. If you check the efficiency and advanced stats." Yes, he is overrated because he was the number one pick overall. And last year, not this past season, but this, Lamar's MVP season, he was favored to win MVP by a lot of people, right? And you had people thinking the Browns are going to go to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And, I understand because you think he's going to be a really good quarterback. They traded for Odell Beckham. You already had Jarvis Landry. You got Nick Chubb. You got a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. So they expect this man to take him there. And he wasn't good. He was awful. Now, this past season, he stepped it up. But, yes, he is overrated because he is that person that you want to limit the amount of throws he makes, right? 25 passes a game is about where you want him to be. And a lot of them are safe passes. You don't want him, trying to go through too many reads and trying to make a big play. Just kind of play within the system. He is a system guy. And if he stays that way, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. So I think he sucks. No, I don't think he sucks. But he is definitely overrated. He's not one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And he's going to get paid like it probably after this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like they found the formula to win with him, and it's called Nick Chubb.
Yes.
And like you said, as long as they stick with that, it's all good.
Yeah. Attitude Pop. What's going on, Attitude Pop? All this hype over Zach Wilson is crazy because he made one throw that Sam Darnold has made before. So tell me how's he going to succeed in the Jets if Sam does not? Well, he's going to have a completely different coaching staff. Right. Now, look, Sam Darnold might still be good, right? But the thing is this. Whenever a new regime takes over, new GM, new head coach, they don't care what the other player can do. They want their guy. And Sam Darnold is not Robert Saleh's guy. If Robert Saleh came in and said, "Nah, I want Sam Darnold. I think we can get, some more, much better play out of him." It could probably work. But Robert Saleh ain't work. He's not interested in that. And if he's not interested in that, he's just not going to be there. So it really, it's not even about how is he better or not. It's just Robert Saleh wants his guy. And I'm not sure if that's who they're going to get anyway. But whoever they get, that's, everybody does that. They want their guys in there, because they're trying to leave their legacy. They don't want to win with other people's guys. So, Garnett says Baker is squared away. He's finally finding his rhythm. Yeah, he's playing within his system for sure. Ferris says right now Ravens media is mad. Mad about what? What are they mad about?
Isn't that Steve ain't talking to him?
Yeah, I guess so. Noah said Baker balled out against us and almost KD was knocked us out of the playoffs. I think Kevin S will help. Oh, okay. He'll help Baker continue to grow. Maybe. Look, the thing is this: Baker's got to be consistent, right? He had a solid year last year. Had an awful year. Year before that, had a good rookie year. So he's on, off, on. Will he be off this year? We'll see. All right. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be great. That's the thing. Like, he'll be solid. I don't think he's going to be great. You're kind of seeing what he's going to be in this league. And the thing about, not being able to play well with Odell kind of bothers me too. That's kind of telling to me because Odell fits every system. There's nothing Odell can't do, right? So to say that it's just not working with Odell, that tells me you have a quarterback he just can't make big throws. That's what that tells me.
Ferris, I don't know if you've seen this or if you have any comment on this, but the Brooklyn Nets are getting stomped out at halftime by Houston. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And Deshaun says, hopefully Wilson would know better than to kiss random women in New York. Oh, that's right. Not get mono. All right. Yeah, Sam Darnold was a Todd Bowles guy for sure. Yeah. Todd Bowles had that team on the right path to winning, and they got rid of him for that loser, Adam Gase, and he completely destroyed that team. That is tragic. Attitude Pop says, all this Mac Jones hate is crazy, and bashing this was how they was going. They were doing Lamar, and what did Lamar do?
Attitude. See, the difference is Lamar was a great player.
Yeah, I don't know what hate you're talking about. You're talking about evaluating his inaccurate throws during his pro day. I mean, that's accurate. Like pointing out that he's making some bad throws isn't hating. They weren't doing that for Lamar. Like all the way through, they're just trying to find a reason to show that no, he should be playing wide receiver, not quarterback. This is why. And Lamar never really gave him that reason, right?
Yeah. Mr. J has a question about the Panthers here.
All right, Brodney, what are your expectations for the Panthers front seven this upcoming season? I think at least top 10 defense. Top 10 defense overall.
I'm trying to hold my excitement for the front seven in check, because right now I want to say they'll be the best front seven in the league. But
yes,
they're
overall defense, I don't think top 10.
They're very young, so I'm not going to say that. But yeah, it depends on what they do in the draft in the secondary. Top 10 is going to be tough, but man, if Burns and Reddick and Gross Matos and Brown and Fox and all those guys stay healthy, they can definitely get to the top 10. They can.
Yeah. You talking about defensive line, not defense.
No. I'm saying if all those guys stay healthy and they're playing Jeremy Chin, a linebacker, and Perryman stays healthy also, they can carry the defense as a whole to top 10.
Yeah.
But how often does an entire unit stay healthy?
Yeah, it's a good
Especially
question.
One that has Denzel Perryman in it.
Spirit of Ogun, thank you for joining the live stream, brother. Any thoughts on Orlando Brown Jr. might stay with the team for this year? Yeah, so initially me and B kind of thought like we may not get anything for him, but just keep him on the team because having him and Ronnie Stanley is huge for the O-line, right? But if he wants out, you got to try to make that happen. But who knows? Like nothing's happened yet. Maybe something will happen before the draft or during the draft. We got to wait and see. But if nothing happens by draft time, he's probably going to stay this year. And look, it's fine. Like I said, he'll play out this year, and we'll get that third round comp pick for him. Y'all love your comp picks, and it is what it is.
I'm going to maintain that they should just go ask Ronnie Stanley to play right tackle and just keep them both.
Listen. Look, B is on to something with that. B is on to something, right? Ronnie Stanley coming off an injury. You say, look, Ronnie, like you're not 100%. Go over to right tackle. He's been playing left tackle. You can work your way back into left tackle at some point, right? You let Orlando Brown play left tackle this year, and either you extend him and you tell Ronnie Stanley, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, or you just let Orlando Brown play left tackle. He excels at it. He's a Pro Bowler or All Pro, whatever this year. You tag him and then you trade him.
Yeah.
All right. But I wouldn't be mad at that. B's onto something. Yes, Ronnie Stanley might have to play right tackle this year. Ronnie, if you're watching, look, just think about it. You got your money. Let your boy get his money. Okay.
Listen, Ferris. Odell has not done enough since he left New York to lay claim to that nickname. This ain't a Mello situation.
Right? Is that what OBJ stands for now? Orlando Brown Jr. Yeah. You know what? I don't know who started it because when I first started seeing it, I was just like, "Are we talking about getting Odell again?" I don't know what's going on. But yes, Odell's been quiet for a few years now, man. But yes, when I see OBJ, I immediately think of Odell. I'm not gonna lie. but he has been mad quiet for a few years. And look, Cleveland will do that to you, man. Cleveland, there's a few places, Cleveland, Jacksonville. There are a few places where you'll go and never be heard from again.
Okay, Click One says before he leaves to make sure to watch his other video on Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, we'll check it out. I'll check it out for sure, for sure. What Ronnie Stanley, Davon says Ronnie is a better left tackle, even at recovery.
Well, yeah, it's not about him being the better left tackle. Is it better to have Stanley and Orlando than Stanley and a rookie?
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. We want the best set of tackles we can possibly get out there. So I'm not opposed to keeping Orlando Brown. However they get that worked out, just keep him on the team. Yeah, look, at this point, if we don't trade him, that means the offer wasn't there, right? Yeah. The offer wasn't there even for a first round pick. So it is what it is. A comp third round pick at worst next year, or we tag him and trade him for a first to somebody. So those are the options. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not rushing Orlando Brown out the door. But if we do trade him, let's get a wide receiver. All right. Okay. A couple more questions and we'll get out of here and we're gonna go over to the overtime. Attitude Pop says pro days don't mean anything. Lamar did not do good in the pro day and is dominating. That's not true. He did do good.
But we're not talking about the pro day. Mac Jones is not a good football player.
Yeah.
Like in his football games.
Yeah.
He's bad.
Gardner says, might as well call Baltimore, the Ravens, the Baltimore coupons. Yeah, we like deals. That's true. We like a good deal, man. Sammy Watkins. What do you guys think about Sammy Watkins, man? Like, I'm not mad at the move, but this isn't a game changer for me. I'm not looking at this and saying, well, we got our wide receiver. We got a guy that can contribute. He's a contributor. I don't look at him as the answer. But
he may not even be a contributor.
He may not. We gotta see if he stays healthy, man. Every time we talk about getting somebody like Julio Jones, anybody, everybody starts talking about injuries. Oh man, but Julio's always hurt. Oh, what about injuries? What about this? What about that? Right? We were talking about top level players, but when we get these guys that are literally the last guys available in free agency. Oh yeah, man! Like he could be the guy. I mean, he can be the one. He hasn't played 16 games since his rookie year. Des Bryant hadn't played in 3 years. What did you expect from him? Look, you get what you pay for. That's my thing, man. You get what you pay for. We didn't pay a lot for Sammy Watkins. So, what kind of production are you expecting from Sammy Watkins, realistically? All right, 1,000 yards. Are you expecting 800 yards, 600 yards? What are you expecting from him? $5 million. I'm not expecting a whole lot, to be honest. I'm not expecting a whole lot. If we get more than that, that'd be great. But I'm not expecting really, maybe 400. Sammy doesn't solve anything. We should still be heavily into a market for a wide receiver. He may not even play more than 5 games. That's facts. And unlike Julio, his talent doesn't make up for that possibility, and that's true. Because yes, while Julio does get hurt a lot, he doesn't miss that many games. This past year is he missed a few games, but up until this past year, he might have been dinged up, but he was out there playing.
Yeah, Mr. J, I agree. I just don't think that I'm not sure that guy still exists necessarily. Not for 16 games. 17 games.
Yeah, it's 17 now. Yeah. All right. And Noah says, never forget, Dez retired just to unretire. Man, I wonder how things are going for Dez, man. I know he said he didn't want to play in Baltimore anymore, right?
And he's a man of his word. That's why he ain't signed.
Right. Yeah. Like, I wonder how he feels about that now. Because, look, maybe he does get signed somewhere. Maybe after the draft he'll get picked up. I wish no ill will towards Des Bryant, but I was never a fan of Des Bryant coming to this team. I don't want somebody that's been inactive for almost 3 years, okay, as being the answer. I don't want him on a team in any capacity other than coaching, okay? And I'm just sick of this, man. And look, if Sammy Watkins doesn't ball out, Sammy Watkins is 27, so he's younger than we normally get, but he's still right in line of that type of wide receiver we get, that 1 year rental that we put our hopes into to do more than he's actually going to do, and then get mad because we got what we paid for. Like, how many years are we going to do this, man? How many years? I mean, we do it every single year. Crabtree, Ez, now we got Sammy. I mean, we can go further back than that. TJ Hushmanzada, Lee Evans. We do this every year, man. So it's fine if that's just another piece we're adding, but we're not done yet. Great. But if we stop here, we got problems. I don't even want to talk about edge rushers. We can talk about edge rushers on this show. Next week we'll talk about edge rushers, but we can talk about them. But we can talk about them, but we better not get one. We better not get one, right? But all right, last one from Ferris. Sammy Watkins may be 27, but his legs scream 50. Ouch. All right. Oh, no, this is the last one because he put the hashtag in here. Our man Dave Vaughn said, while bringing far more options defensively all year, hashtag defund the defense.
That's right.
And on that note, we are going to finish the show. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on it's a pretty dry Wednesday, man. Not dry outside. It's pretty wet outside. But, I mean, sports-wise, man, there's not a whole lot going on, man. Like, you guys, seriously.
They ain't defund the defense for Watkins. They did that just because they like taking money from people. They already had more than enough money to sign Sammy.
Man, they didn't even want to sign Sammy. Let's be real about that. All right, let's be real about that. They wanted.
He got cyberbullied.
Yeah, they wanted T.Y. Hilton, all right, and T.Y. Hilton said, "Okay, I'm gonna leverage this to get more money from my team." And they're like, "Hey, Sammy, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? We got that $5 million for you." 5? I thought you said 6. We got 5. That's what they do. So, yeah, I'm not going to get excited about that, man. We got to do more. But, guys, thank you so much. All right. And for our patrons, give us a few minutes, and we're going to get that set up. And everybody else, we'll see you later on in the week. Peace out. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Now it's peace out.